All right, hello and welcome to our October edition of Headlights Live. As you can see, we're all very festive in the Halloween mood here at the corporate office. Today, we're going to be talking about a subject that can be scary, but we don't want it to be, and that is marketing, digital marketing, and anything that you can do, especially during the off season, to really make that investment in marketing that's going to boost your leads for the springtime. As we all know, 2023 has been a little more of a down year compared to the last few years. 2024 at this point is predicted to be flat from an economic standpoint. So anything that we can do to get extra leads into your offices, we want to help you do. So that being said, we have a few housekeeping things we're going to address first. Number one, silver certification. This is a great way, in addition to your marketing, this is a great way to boost your leads opportunities. We have over 50 agents that are currently in process to be certified or have already received that certification. With that certification, you get additional perks that you can display on your sales materials and that you can promote to your realtors and to your other vendors that may give you referrals. So if you're interested in certifying your agency, it is an entire agency certification. It's not a single person. Sarah always wants to make sure that we let people know that. Your whole agency needs to be on board with the certification. You can reach out to Sarah Kramer, and she is happy to get you started. And there is not an open enrollment window for that. So if you reach out to her today, she can get you set up to start tomorrow. So it's very quick. Don't forget, we still do partner with the legacy list. And if you have a customer that you think would be a great cast member to be on their show, have them go to legacylist.com and they can click on be on the show. And once they fill that form out, your agency will receive a legacy list decal. Whether they're selected or not to be on the show, you'll still get that decal. Also, we're always looking for your feedback. So we still have that feedback line open. The phone number is there on the screen. We change the question about every couple weeks. We try to keep it very relevant, something we're working on at the van line or something maybe we're thinking about implementing or changing. So your feedback is very critical for that. And finally, don't forget about networking through video. If you haven't done it ever, or maybe for a while, we are just looking for a 1 to 2 minute video. It can even be less than that. Something you can shoot it on your phone, just letting us know who you are, what areas you service, if you have any specialties. And also, I would also add, if there's a specific way that the rest of the agents can refer something to you, maybe you're looking for a specific type of client or, a specific type of business line, you never know who in our network will have connections in your market and can get you hooked up with somebody. So definitely submit those videos to wheatonmarketing@wblcorp.com. Thank you to our drivers of the month, our September drivers of the month. We have from the Wheaton side, Michael Durant from Richmond, Virginia, and Ryan Condrat from Braun Moving in Connecticut. Both, I believe this is their third time for both of them receiving this award. And then from our Beacon side, we have William Glenn from White Glove in Florida and Justin Luke from Borman in Illinois. Again, Justin's a second-time recipient of this award, and William is a first-time. So if these drivers come through your office, be sure to congratulate them in addition to thanking them for all that they do for us. Speaking of congratulations, our September Agents of the Month, we would like to recognize AMS Relocation out of California as the Beacon's Agent of the Month, and Bell Moving and Storage out of Ohio, both longtime agents, both great agents, very well deserving of this award. So for today's topic, we're going to be hearing from both Jaymie Shook and Madi Williams from our sales and marketing department. If you have questions throughout this presentation, please feel free to type them in the chat box. There will be time for Q&A at the end of the presentation, but if you want to go ahead and type your questions in the chat box as we go, as you're thinking about it, we may be able to answer them right there live via chat, or we'll get them answered at the end. And so with that, I am going to pass everything along to Maddie Williams.
Thank you, April. For those who I haven't met, I'm Maddie Williams. I'm the communication specialist here at the Van Line. So today, I just wanted to touch on a little bit of what we talked about at conference. Next slide, please. So at the partnership conference in Orlando, Jaymie and I had the opportunity to lead a marketing panel with a few of our other marketing experts who were in attendance. So we had Bob Ottaway from Marketers for Movers. We had Steve Fecco from BTE, both of who work exclusively with moving industry clients. And then we added to the mix Sarah Ranconi from Gemini, which is our digital marketing agency. So it was nice to have a diverse spread of marketing professionals up there. So just talking briefly on the top trends that we talked about. First of all, we talked about AI, which I know is a buzzword that we've all been hearing the past couple of years. We talked about how AI can be used as a resource, but not as a replacement. Using it to outline content and generate ideas is what you want to do. The next trend we discussed was Google Analytics, which is GA4. And this is the evaluation end of your marketing efforts. So you're spending money on digital marketing. You want to make sure that you're getting results that are moving your bottom line. And GA4 comes in to help you analyze your campaigns and make adjustments to get the results that you're looking for. And finally, the last trend we talked about was content. Content is important wherever your customers are likely to be spending their time researching their moves, whether it's on your website, social media, or email. It's something that continues to be important year after year. Next slide, please. And so at the end of our discussion, each panelist left agents with an action item to help them put our words into their marketing strategy immediately. So today, Jaymie and I are going to dive into the first two that are related to content there. So we're going to show you a variety of Van Line resources available and kind of talk about how you can implement these to elevate your agency's marketing efforts. And I'm going to turn it over to Jaymie to walk you guys through what resources we have available.
Sorry, I forgot I was muted. So yes, our panel was super well received. All of the people in the audience came up to us later on and told us that they were really excited to start putting some of those things into practice. So that's why we decided we wanted to cover that topic with you all today. First of all, knowing your resources. A lot of the people who came up to me after the panel were asking me, where do I find all those videos that you were showing us? How do we access some of those things? And so the three main places that you're going to find all the stuff. One is our Van Line social media accounts. Those are obviously public. You can follow each of those accounts and easily find and share any of the articles, images, videos that we share there. If you're wanting to download the files themselves, box.com is a great place to go for that. And you can get to that link in Access Forms and Manuals. It'll be at the top left under Documents. It says Sales and Marketing Links. You'll click on that and then you'll find your brand and it'll take you into the box.com folder. I'm going to show you some images of what that'll look like. And then we also have the training toolbox. Now that is more of an agency development baby, but Sarah does a fantastic job, and Kelly did before her, of moving all of our sales and marketing content, all of our Headlights Live and Headlights On Demand recordings into the training toolbox once those are ready to share. Those are within Access as well, so I'll show you how to get there in a minute. So I mentioned our social accounts. The Van Line has really been targeting older adults in the last several years. That's where the upside is. 10,000 adults every day from now to 2030 are turning 65. So that age cohort is mostly on Facebook, getting into Instagram, and YouTube is where we house all of our videos. So that's an easy way to share those items. So these are a couple of examples of some of the items that we share that you are more than welcome to just hit the share button or to save that to your desktop and then share directly from your social accounts. So I mentioned box.com that you can get there from Access Forms and Manuals. So you can see we're on the Forms and Manuals tab. I just screenshotted the top left of the screen where I clicked on Document, Social Sales and Marketing links. And then, like I said, you'll find your link here. Once you've done that, this is the page that you'll see. So sometimes there will be a green banner across the top that says that you need to create an account and log in. You don't. They're just trying to get more users in their platform. You do not have to create any accounts. You can just click on any of these folders and download any of the files within them. You can see that we have several subfolders within the one shared folder. We've got videos, we've got branded and stock photos, lots of collateral that you can also get the collateral from OnePoint if you're looking to have it printed, but if you want to just download it and share it as attachments, the collateral folder here is where you would go for that. I also did a deeper dive into that videos subfolder because, like I said, we have been sharing a lot about video. Somebody said earlier today that a picture is worth 1,000 words, but a video is worth 1,000,000. So anytime that you can share video, do it. We've got several series that we've been working on. One is our How to Pack series. We have 9 different videos that talk about how to pack 9 different things. We have some branded ads that are anywhere from 6-second to 15-second to 30-second videos that are just touting your brand. Then we have a couple of videos that are warnings about rogue movers. If you've been paying attention to the van line ads and other socials lately, we've really been honing in on that watch out for rogue movers message. And we've had ATA that has reached out to us about that. We've had NJWMA that has offered us some of their content as well. So there are there's a ton of upside in sharing that. We also have created the 72 Ways to Save video series. A lot of you are probably familiar with the 72 Ways to Save booklet that we've had from forever ago. Back in 2019, we updated that from the 1990s version that talked about CD-ROMs to a new 2000s version of it, where we updated a lot of those items. But anyway, now it's in videos. So they're very short. They're 15 to 30 seconds, but it's a different idea that we've been sharing on the Vanline socials. You are more than welcome to download those and share them directly to your accounts, directly on your website, however you'd like to get that message across. Couple of these for Wheaton, I have some very old videos. So you're welcome to use those. Not sure how helpful those will be, but I don't get rid of videos. The other 3 kind of videos hanging out here are ones that are currently hosted on the site. So I just zoomed in on one other subfolder. These are infographics, and I only do that to tell you that we are always creating new content and putting them into this shared folder. So, maybe have that be a monthly task that somebody who handles marketing does in your office, goes in and just checks to see what new items there are. In that box.com folder, the newest items will always pop up to the top. So you'll see when there's been new items added to each folder. And then I also want to draw your attention to our sales and marketing workbooks. We have put together 3 different editions of sales and marketing worksheets and projects and different ways that you can really start thinking about your brand locally and how you interact with the Vanline brand. So we have those. In the past, we've only shared those by year. And so I think it can get complex for people to be looking for one topic, but have to look through them through the year. So anyway, we've separated those out by topic. So all of these lead gen, networking, older adults, and quality and awards exercises, those are all coming from those workbooks we've done so far. We're also currently creating a new edition of the workbook, and that one we have plans to release that alongside our sales training summit, which is going to be January 30th and 31st of 2024. Here near Indianapolis. So keep an eye out for that. And then the third piece is the training toolbox. I mentioned that Sarah and Kelly before her would put all of the recordings from our Headlights Lives and also our Headlights On Demand videos there. So you can go in and watch all of the older webinars that we've done. I know I saw a couple of brand new agents that logged into the webinar today. So that's a great exercise. You can go into the training toolbox, click on webinars, and go through and see all of the content that we've released. Maybe look at the last, year first, because those are going to be the most relevant probably. April was talking about silver certification. Those courses would also be in the training toolbox. So a difference between those two bullets is that the on-demand and live videos that we've put there, anybody can access those at any time. Silver certification, you have to sign up with Sarah and she has to assign those courses to you. But then that third bullet, not necessarily sales and marketing related, but I wanted to just show you some of the other topics that you can have your crew members or other employees assigned to also.
So now that you kind of have a better idea of all the resources we have available to you, I kind of want to talk about how you can pull these into your marketing strategy a little more. And something that we like to implement on the Van Line marketing team is an editorial calendar. So an editorial calendar helps you streamline all the channels you're implementing in your marketing strategy and organize them into a plan. Next slide, please. So to use a calendar, you want to start by considering all the channels that you use to market your services. Social media, SEO, PPC, printed materials, website, blog, any events that you host or sponsor. And then spend a little bit of a time at the beginning of each week, each month, or each quarter, depending on your bandwidth, and plot out a plan that includes all these channels and resources that you've laid out. And I wanted to mention that this editorial calendar is a really good resource for agents who don't have a ton of time to spend on marketing, or maybe you have someone who marketing is only part of your job. Just spending a few hours on this when you have the chance is really going to help you make some of your marketing goals more achievable.
All right, so part of that editorial calendar slide that we looked at was KPIs. So those key performance indicators where you're going to be able to evaluate, where you're going to be able to evaluate the initiatives that you've taken on. So I just popped in the chat box asking people, what are some of the initiatives that you take on or your marketing person takes on in your office? Because everything that you do should have a purpose. You should be thinking, what is that post on Facebook going to do for me? Why am I spending my time on it? Generally, when you are posting something on a social account, you're looking to drive traffic somewhere. So usually it's going to be driving traffic to your website, or it could be to a landing page where you're looking to collect estimates or something like that. So that's one indicator that you might be tracking. Another indicator might be, so once you get traffic to your website, is that converting into a lead? That's going to be more on the SEO or SEM side of things, what your efforts there are doing to do their job of converting into a lead. And then finally, this is not necessarily a marketing task, but a little bit more on the sales part of things. How many of those leads that you're getting are turning into jobs? That's certainly something that you want to track as to, you might even do that in terms of which initiative you started off with to get that traffic, to get that lead, to turn it into a job. So the more that you know about each of your efforts, the better you're going to be able to spend your time in the future. Because if you're able to convert, 50% of your leads that came from initially social media posts, and you're only able to convert 10% of the ones that came to you from a direct mail piece, then clearly you're going to spend more time on social. So it's just a good way to kind of measure out your time and make sure that you're making good use of your time. So this may be a scary slide for some people. Again, October. But this is a screenshot from our GA4, which is our Google Analytics. It's now the fourth iteration of what they're doing in terms of tracking and analyzing websites and other things that Google is tracking. So what this slide shows is all of the conversions that you can do. I think it's on the Beacon site. So you can fill out the form to find a local agent. That's the first one. You can click to call. You can click to fill out the moving estimate, click to email us, or fill out the contact us form. So those are all different conversions that we track on the website. There are certainly other things that we track, but these are the top 5 ones. Anyway, so we spend time each week talking with our digital marketing people every Tuesday at 1. That's what I know I'm doing with my time. So they're going to give me an update on, what the traffic is like. What is the web development initiative that they've been spending our hours on for the last month, and how that's doing. We're always talking about evaluating what we've done so we know whether it was a good use of our time or not.
So at the end of August, we sent out a survey to hear from all of our agents about how their business has changed over the last 10 years. We received 164 individual responses, and we really appreciate all the responses we received. This information is really helpful to the van line so we can work to better meet our agents' needs. So part of this survey, we asked a variety of questions like business mix, employees, and marketing efforts. So just wanted to share a few of these results with you all today. So this first slide is showing annual budget spent on digital marketing. And as you can see, there's a wide spread of spend here. Like AJ discussed at conference, we know that this year has been down and next year is predicted to be flat also. So with that reality in mind, we're not expecting you guys to go out and spend more money in the short term. The long-term goal would be to increase your marketing spend as business allows. You don't have to go all in. Maybe you increase your spend 1% each year. Start wherever is realistic for you. And regardless of what proportion you're spending, make sure, like Jamie mentioned, that you're always going back to optimize what you're spending your money on.
Another question that we ask, and we've kind of alluded to this throughout the last half hour or so, is whether you have somebody at your office who's handling your marketing. I know every time we have the sales training summit, we have some people who say they're completely focused on marketing. We have others who say, oh, maybe 10% of my time. And so we were interested to find out how that is across the board. So those 164 people that filled out that survey, about 30% of them said that nobody in their office is focused on marketing. And then about 40% of respondents said that the one person or the people who handle the marketing in their office do it it's less than a quarter of their time. So again, we're not expecting every single agent in the network to hire somebody to focus on marketing tomorrow. We understand that that's not a reasonable request. However, again, like Madi mentioned, with increasing the budget 1% over time, we would love to see you have somebody devote an hour every week to marketing, 2 hours every week to marketing. Even if it's just one day every month that they can focus on the marketing for your office, all of that is going to be helpful for not only your agency, but also our network as a whole. Especially as we are seeing that, next year there won't be as many people moving. So we're going to have to increase our market share in all of these areas to make sure that we are either staying flat or hopefully increasing our business over the next 12 months. And so this was the question on what your percent of your total revenue is spent on marketing. So in terms of the van line, we've got the ad fund. Every year, that's the big total that is spent on marketing for each brand. So that was the question for agencies. How much of your total revenue percentage are you spending on all of the initiatives? Whether it is, somebody designing new flyers for your salespeople to hand out, or digital marketing, retargeting ads, any of that. So what we can see is that a little more than 80% of respondents are spending 5% or less on marketing each year. So again, we're not looking for you to start spending 100%, obviously, but you know, every little bit helps, and every little bit more that you can spend, whether it is money or time, is going to show real dividends for your market share that you're able to grow. One of the things that I would love to offer for all of you is that if you have somebody in your office who is going to be able to devote a little bit of their time to marketing over the next 12 months, I would love for you to reach out directly to me or Maddie and say, hey, I'm Jaymie. I'm going to be doing marketing 5% of my time over the next 12 months. Maddie and I would be happy to help you decide how to manage your time in that. You know, what would be your number 1, number 2, and number 3 goals? If you've only got 2 hours, this is what we recommend you do with that. So please use us as resources for that. If I get enough people who would do that, I'd be happy to have maybe a Zoom call once a month where we're checking in with each other, keeping each other accountable, and sharing what we've done and what the results were.
All right, and the last question we wanted to share was just talking about the different advertising methods that our agents are using. And a couple of things I wanted to touch on here is reminding you all that Google wants you to spend the most money. So if you are running PPC ads, you need to be working with someone who knows your goals and not just relying on what Google thinks is best, because they will spend your money. And then going back to those KPIs that Jaymie mentioned, when you're working on your editorial calendar, look at each one of these items and decide which ones are converting the best to raise the bottom line, and spend your money in those.
And I would say if the phrase editorial calendar scares you away, honestly, you can just call that your to-do list, right? Your marketing to-do list.
Yeah. And with that kind of wraps up our presentation, but we wanted to open the floor up for any questions.
All right, Jaymie, we do have a question for Jaymie or Maddie, and that is, what is the recommended percentage of spend you suggest that an agency spends on marketing? So what would be the recommended percentage, not necessarily a dollar amount, but...
Yeah. So for business as a whole, and this is not specifically our industry, this is not specifically moving, but business as a whole recommended to spend between 6 and 8% of their total revenue on marketing for the year. So again, if you're currently spending 1%, we don't expect you to hop up to 6 by tomorrow. But that's a good, healthy, you know, benchmark to know where you're at.
Great. We have another question. Is it worth spending money to advertise on social media?
It certainly can be. It's going to depend what your goal is for your ads. We have done for both Beacons and Wheaton, we have done some Facebook and Instagram ads. I guess Meta is what we're calling that. So we've done ads that were supposed to just work on our branding goals, and those worked out really, really well. We had impressions that were through the roof. We had a ton of frequency for each of the people or each of the profiles that we were interested in targeting. And then we've also done lead gen, which sometimes can work really well, sometimes not so much. Depends what time of the year you're at, depends on your target market. One of the things that Gemini Advanced Marketing does for us is they make lookalike audiences based on the people that we're trying to target. And that way they can see what the the benchmarks could be. There are this many people that are interested in this topic. And we think that with this much budget, you're going to reach X amount of those. So it's important to know the kind of realistic view. But as a yes or no answer, I don't have one for you. I can say that we've targeted older adults and we have targeted high-end moves. And I will say that the older adult ads have led to more leads for us than the high-end moves have, and have been less costly.
Well, that's good to know. Speaking of cost, another comment we have, kind of bouncing off what Maddie said earlier, Google pay-per-click is very expensive in my market. Does it work? Is it worth it?
So in my market is kind of the key term there. In some areas where there are a ton of competitors, it's going to be astronomical. Other places where, you know, maybe you're the only moving company for 200 miles, much less, much less costly. I would say you need to work with a marketing firm who, one, understands moving in the industry, and two, understands your area, and has been able to give you that realistic look on, okay, this many people move out of your state, move out of your area, or move in or out. And this is what we think we can realistically get for you. I think a common fallacy with especially PPC is going to be, well, if I throw more money at it, I'm going to get more leads. And unfortunately, that's not the case. That would be real easy, but that's not how it works. So I don't have like an industry standard for you. Unfortunately, I wish I did. That would make everyone's life easier. But I will say I've seen people spend $40 for a lead from PPC, and I've seen people spend $140. It's just going to depend on where you are and when you're doing your advertising.
Great. Jaymie, so you and Madi both had mentioned at one point working with a marketing company to help generate those leads or help kind of manage, especially if you're playing in the Google arena. Do we have a list of maybe vendors who we know work with some of our agents that if someone reached out to you, you could provide them a few options that they could maybe explore?
We definitely have that.
I throw you on the spot like that.
Yes, no, we do. In our sales and marketing workbooks, we have a third-party vendor list. And I know that there are marketing firms in there. Madi mentioned 3 different firms that were on that had a representative on our marketing panel. One is Bob Ottaway from Marketers for Movers. Another was Steve Fecco from B2E Marketing. And I know there are a ton of others out there. Mover Search Marketing has been at our exhibit halls before. I believe he is a former Wheaton agent who shifted over into the Marketing for Movers arena. And I think another place to get recommendations would be in our Facebook sales and marketing group. There are always agents who are happy to offer, you know, their vendor. And let me see, I think that it was maybe Beacons Northwest who recommended B2E Marketing. They did like a little video shout out testimonial kind of deal for them that we had in our most recent sales and marketing workbook. We had a couple of those. That's the one that stands out to me, but I know I had several people who chimed in the Facebook group to say, well, you need to check out these people because they're great. Cameron from AMS is saying Mover Search Marketing is fantastic. Brian Bloom, I think, is that his name, Cameron? I think that's what the name I remember. And Lillian, maybe. But anyway, yeah, there are a lot of great people out there, and I would be happy to talk with you on a one-on-one basis about who might be great for your area.
Fantastic. All right. Are there any other questions? And Jaymie, maybe you can see some I can't because I can't see Cameron's comment in the chat box. So if you see a question I miss, would you?
Yeah. There were a couple that were the same as what you had asked. And then Carrie had asked me about some silver certified items. So that is a good kind of another good push for becoming silver certified, because we have some extra marketing materials that are only for agents who have completed those courses. So Carrie, for your question on how to go online and access the training materials, you want to reach out to Sarah Kramer because she's able to give the access for those. But for anybody on the webinar now who is silver certified, that their agency is, you can get on to OnePoint and download those. Or also, I know that Sarah emails those to the agents once they have completed their certification, and that would be like the badge that you can add to your site and all your accounts and stuff that says you're silver certified. You're also, once you are certified, we put the badge on your agent page on wheatonworldwide.com or beacons.com, the appropriate one there. And there are tons of collateral pieces, flyers, leave behinds that are specifically for silver certified agents, but we also have a ton of that collateral in box.com for everybody to use. You can either use OnePoint, like I said, our printing partner, or, we don't care. Use somebody local to you, use somebody who refers people to you a lot. That's a great way to build that relationship. And also, I will say that several agents have come to me over the last, several months and said that they were working on such and such flyer and they wanted our help with it. And so either I asked Maddie to help them out because she's better at graphic design than I am, or I was able to get in Canva and do it. That's a super easy tool that even I can use. But anytime that you are, trying to design something new and maybe you're not sure if we already have something like that, just drop Maddie or I a note. And if we have it, we can find it and send it to you. Or if we don't have it, we're always looking to see how we can support agents more. We want to empower you so that you can do all of the marketing and sales initiatives that you have the resources for. So if there's something that you want that we don't have, please tell me and we'll put it on our editorial calendar and get it ready and shoot it out to you.
All right, great. Did you see any other questions there in that chat box, Jaymie, that haven't been addressed?
Nope. Sue, I will reach out to you afterward about your agency page.
All right, great. Well, with that, we do have some upcoming events that we want to make people aware of. The first one is kind of more of just letting you know what the van line's doing. So as you know, we've had a very strong initiative over the last several years to work in the older adult community. Part of that is our involvement with the National Association of Senior Move Managers. We will have van line representation at their upcoming conference in Kansas City. So again, making sure that that organization knows who we are, what we do, and how we can service their markets. And of course, any leads that we get from that event, we will pass on to you, the agents, as it is appropriate by market. Our sales training summit is officially open for business, I guess you could say. So it is January 30th and 31st here in Indianapolis. We will be at the Hotel Carmichael in Carmel, Indiana, so suburb of Indianapolis. And we're really excited about this year. We have a really great agenda we're putting together for everybody. If you're a new agent or an old agent, it doesn't matter. We highly recommend sending a representative to this event. We're going to be talking a lot about lead generation, especially in the flat market going into 2024, and how, in addition to your agency generating leads, which is kind of what we've been talking about today, we're gonna really focus a lot on how you as a salesperson can also generate your own leads, which is a win-win for you and your agency. Our Van Line Summit and Awards Gala is going to be at the Sahara in Las Vegas, February 28th and 29th. So that is the opposite end of the strip that we have been at those last several years, but it is the last stop on the monorail. So if you're sad that you can't gamble at the MGM Grand, you can hop on that monorail and you can go whoop, all the way to the other side of the strip. We're very excited for the Sahara. We have some really great events, like micro events planned during that event. We're brewing up a lot of fun with our witches hats today, like that one. So keep your eye out for more information on that. And then also we just want to, in case you didn't already know, the ATA Moving and Storage Conference annual meeting will be in New Orleans in 2024, March 4th through the 6th. And with that, if there are no more questions, we will sign off for the day. If you think of something after this episode ends, feel free to reach out directly to Madi or Jaymie, and they are happy to answer all of your questions. Happy Halloween. Because he was so scared. I wouldn't put on